Hey guys, it's Dom Decalcs here, and today I have my first viewer requested program. It comes from JTC971, and he asked me if I could make a program that will find all the angles and all the sides of a triangle. Now, these are all right triangles, so it won't work for anything else. But it's pretty cool. So, to start off, I have a note card here with 45, 45, 90 triangles, with an example of one anyways. And as you know, if you have a 45, 45, 90, this side and this side are equal, and then that side over there is a different number. In this case, this is the base one with 1, 1, and the square root of 2, which is approximately 1.4142, blah, 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 blah. So we're going to leave this on the side here so you can see it. And we're going to start into the program. So I've actually named it after his username, so JTC971, and this program is made up of about 5 other smaller programs plus the clear and unclear programs. So this will be more or less a video series of each of the smaller programs and then the main one, because it would have been too much to put it all in one video, and I want to keep it kind of short and sweet. So without further ado, let's run it. So you just hit enter and run it. So first thing is, do you know an angle? In this case, for the example, we're going to say no and say that all we got was 1 and 1. So it looked kind of like that. So you answer no. Then it says, what do you know? So you can answer, you either know 2 legs or a hypotenuse and a leg. In this case, we know 2 legs. So the first leg is 1, obviously. The second leg is 1 as well. And then this comes up. It calculated the angles, 45, 45, 90, 1 and 1, put those in there. And it calculated this, 1.414236. So that's your hypotenuse. And that's pretty much how it works, and it works every time, but only if, and it only really works with a triangle like that. So if you have a triangle that's in a different direction, you have to switch it and then answer the question. But in this case, it doesn't matter what your triangle looks like since you're only putting in the legs. It only starts to matter when you get into the angles. So let's go ahead and get into the angles now that I mentioned that. So you hit enter once you're done, and then it asks you if you want to try again. So we want to try again, or answer again, I guess. So we hit yes. So this time it says, do you know an angle? It waits for a second. So this time we want to answer yes. So first step is entering the angle. In this case, we have a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So we're going to enter 30 as the angle we know. So we'll put that 30. Alright, so now it asks, do we know a hypotenuse or a leg? So if we go back to this, we're going to enter the hypotenuse, which is 2. Okay? So we hit enter, we know the hypotenuse. Please input the hypotenuse. 2. Alright, so now it came up with 30, 60, 90, 2, 1, and 1.73205, which is exactly what we have here, which I got off a website. So it works that way too. So this program works for pretty much any triangle with the combination of either 1 leg and 1 angle, 1 leg, or 1 leg, 1 hypotenuse, 2 legs, or a hypotenuse and an angle. And every time it shows it as a big triangle with all the stuff in place. Real quick, I'm just going to go over the last thing, which, yes, do we know an angle? This is the trickiest part of the entire thing. So we're going to enter, going off this one again, we are going to enter, we're going to go with 30 again. like so. Oh, you can't see the screen. 30. And this time we're going to do a leg. So they ask you to input the leg. In this case, it should be the square root of 3. So we're going to do that, and there might be a rounding error, but this is just for an example. So we want the second square root of 3. And you can actually do this. You can just put in square root of 3, and it will still work. Now, this part. They ask, is the leg opposite or adjacent to the angle you know? So in this case, the angle we know was 30. It's the angle we put in. And this is the leg that we're using. So this is adjacent to the angle. Now, if this leg that we knew was over here, we'd answer opposite. That's the only tricky part about this program. But I think it's pretty simple. So we know that the angle is 30 and the leg is the square root of 3, and we know that it's adjacent to the angle. So we're going to answer the leg is adjacent. And as you can see, it figured it out. 30, 60, 90. Got square root of 3 down there. 1 and 2. And it looks exactly like the one in our example. So if you have any questions about this, or you're typing it in and not getting the right answers, please feel free to comment, ask me about it. That might be a little bit confusing. So now there's going to be a link in the description and an annotation to take you to the first video. Thanks guys. See you next time.